Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Time for another look at Stan Lee creating the DC Universe in his own image. Last time we saw his version of Superman, still a strange visitor from another planet, but instead of being the last son of Krypton, he was Slab Squat Thrust, exercise fanatic to compete with his genetically engineered peers who were all space cops. His girlfriend was killed to add unnecessary tragedy to his backstory, and he and a villain named Gorok were accidentally sent to Earth. There, Superman decided to fight crime in the hopes of making the government devote money to their space program. I'd say it made sense in context, but it was pretty loose thinking there too. So let's dig into Just Imagine Stan Lee creating Batman and see how Stan tackles a darker character who already had a tragic backstory.
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Life out, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara, he's a man punch, wears a birdie hat. Linkara, he has a magic gun. Where'd he purchase that? Linkara, coins, robots, Amazon and trucks. Linkara, this comic sucks. Linkara.
Yes, this is real music. Dark, brooding, important, groundbreaking.
This one was actually the first of the series to be published. I just chose to go with Superman first since, well, Superman can be thought of as the epitome of superheroics in all of its various tropes, so it's only natural to see Stan take on the archetype itself. Here, though, we have Batman, which broke away from so many of those tropes while building on others. And I've got to say, the cover is a lot better than last time. It evokes the familiar tones of Batman while still giving it a different look. In this case, Batman has the overall shape of the Dark Knight, except, as we can see in the background, the face is considerably more bat-like than just the basic silhouette that Bruce usually goes for. The only thing I'll criticize is that building. Well, I think it's a building that he's jumping off of. The hell is that? I'd say it's just something under construction, but I'm pretty sure you don't start putting drywall up against steel poles. Is that just a weird jungle gym? I mean, we all joke about Batman being a gigantic man-child, but I didn't think it was quite that literal. We open at a cemetery in the rain. The night is dark and starless. The TARDIS exploded, and all stars went supernova at once. The pounding rain is cold. Just imagine Stan Lee creating haikus. But the heart of Wayne Williams is colder still, for it beats with a silent, seething rage. Why did I only bring one umbrella on this trip? If Wayne Williams is angry now, wait until that weeping angel behind him finishes leaping out. Anyway, Wayne's father was a cop who was killed in the line of duty, and naturally he and his mother are rather upset about that. That being said, all I can notice is that the word balloons are all in rounded rectangles, which gives the effect that these people are actually robots. As they walk home, they talk about how the neighborhood has gone to hell with crime. They pass by a group of thugs beating up a guy, and the mother wants to intervene, but Wayne pulls her away so she doesn't end up being the target of their ire. The gangster is some guy named Hands, spelled with a Z, because poor literacy has also been recreated by Stan Lee. The next day, Wayne goes to work at a convenience store, spotting Hands walking down the street with his girlfriend, and I'm pretty sure Hands is supposed to be a 1920s gangster, or a very convincing Linkara cosplayer. In any event, a car drives by in an attempt to kill Hands, who ducks behind another car. Spotting that the girlfriend is frozen in fear and right in the line of fire, Wayne jumps out and gets her down. The shooters drive off, but Hands is a colossal dickhead. Hey, who said you could mess with my lady? No two-bit punk acts like a hero when I'm around. How dare you save my girlfriend's life? I wanted her bloody corpse to fall on top of me like a blanket. I just tried to help. Yeah, try that again and you'll get what your father got. Okay, making a note here. Anytime people fire bullets at you, let you and your date be riddled with them. You must have great recruitment posters for your gang. Just let us die. Insulted by the remark about his father, Wayne tries to fight, but Hands shows off why he got his nickname, taking Wayne's fists and crushing his fingers. This goes on for another page or two, although what gets me is that Hands' jacket says hands and feet on it. Does that mean he'll do the same with his feet to your toes if you try to kick him? After his girlfriend begs him to let Wayne go, he finally relents, but the next day a bunch of hooded goons come in with guns. They say out loud that Wayne gave them a tip to rob the place, which should be a clear indicator that they're lying, since why the hell would they be stupid enough to disguise their identities with masks, but then loudly announce that this guy was in on it. They also shoot the store owner in the arm for good measure, which apparently knocks him unconscious. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's trauma or something, but considering a second ago he was really pissed about Wayne, I find that hard to believe. To continue the setup, they knock Wayne unconscious and plant a gun in his hands. We're then shown a quick trial where the store owner rats on Wayne and, well, the justice system being what it is, he's found guilty of armed robbery. As the saying goes, justice is blind. Sometimes too blind. And that's how I would create Daredevil. Oh, wait. Weeks later, Wayne finds himself working at a sewing machine in the prison laundry, much to the mockery of his fellow inmates. "What you doing, Williams? Sewing a dress for your prom?" "No way you was busted for armed robbery. I'm betting they got you for wearing the wrong makeup." "Screw you guys! I'm gonna be the best damn Deadpool cosplayer at Prison Con!" Prison, of course, starts getting to him, and he tries to figure out a way to pass the time and keep his mind off Hands. As such, he decides to start counting bats that fly nearby. Ooh, Kryptonian Sesame Street can help with that. Thinking that they're hungry, he takes some crumbs from his dinner and sets them on the windowsill. A bat is attracted to them and flies in, Wayne befriending the thing over the weeks and months. "You're the best friend I've got. I'm gonna sew you something cute to wear. You're the only friend I've got, that's for sure." This is a weird remake of the Shawshank Redemption. After a quick scene with Hands, where we learn his girlfriend is sympathetic to Wayne, we see Wayne thinking about wanting to exercise in the yard. He helps save an older prisoner from Corgo, the bald guy earlier who had mocked him for his sewing machine skills. It results in him being beaten up. "We better split, Corgo, before the gods come." "No sweat, I plan to swipe one of their flight harnesses later." The old guy, named Frederick Grant, thanks him for his help, encouraging him not only to build up his body, but also to develop his mind. He was a scientist who was put in prison for trying to destroy machinery in the factory he worked at that was polluting a river. Batman's wise mentor, the Lorax. Fred also encourages him to learn more about his bat pet. Later still, Wayne goes to the yard again to exercise, where some of the tougher prisoners help him out since they like how he stood up to Corgo. Fortunately, unlike on Krypton, humanity has perfected the montage, wherein we see Wayne developing his muscles over the course of several months. Between weights and sewing machines, Wayne bonds with his adjacent cellmate. "Sorry, Fred, I won't have these pants hemmed until next week." Fred is eventually released from prison, and Wayne learns that his mother has passed away. "She's dead. My mom's dead. I've been waiting years to say this. My parents are dead! 'Cause there was no one to take care of her." "Yeah, she sure died quickly without you. Several months after you were incarcerated." Realizing that she died before he could prove his innocence, he renews his vow to get vengeance on Hands. Meanwhile, we cut over to the Church of Eternal Empowerment, and its minister, Reverend Harold P. Satan. "From the outside, it seems no different than the countless other churches that dot Los Angeles. But looks can be deceiving. It has a severe mold problem in the walls." Also, most churches don't usually have stained glass windows depicting fiery hellbirds. Our robed villain proclaims they need to recruit more disciples, in particular those filled with hate and vengeance. We then cut back to the prison, where a hypnotized guard uses a computer to unlock all the cells. Suddenly, simultaneously, dozens of tumblers are disengaged. But how will we reblog things now? Naturally, this leads to a prison riot where they take the warden hostage. However, when Corgo says he's going to kill the warden, Wayne intervenes and saves his life. Fortunately, with his added bulk, he's able to hold off the prisoners until the cops return to regain order. Apparently, that's all you need to get out of prison, since a week later, Hands is reading in the paper how Wayne has been given a full pardon. However, since he's also the only person who can finger them, how exactly. He had no evidence back when the assault happened, and even less evidence now. He swears to have Wayne killed. Wayne checks into a hotel and starts planning his next move. He alters his appearance, growing out a mustache and shaving his head. Yeah, it's something weird that was pointed out to me recently after the Punisher comics I reviewed. For some reason, black guys in comics are only allowed 3 hairstyles: short, shaved, or afro. It's really kind of weird. But it does make me wish Batman had an afro. While thinking about ways to make money, he turns on the TV and watches a wrestling match featuring Cthulhu? I want to see what friggin' wrestling promotion features a pink Cthulhu-headed bastard fighting Zangief here.
Bone Button is here to slam all the haters out there. I'm talking about you, Cthulhu. I'm gonna put you into the ultimate presser. In his house at Relaye, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming, 'cause I laid him out!
Damn it, Big Show! Stop killing Cthulhu!
I'm having fun!
Anyway, Wayne is unimpressed by the wrestlers and their outfits, but soon discovers that according to the announcer, they make a lot of money. He goes out to buy some fabric. I do love the idea of Batman, in any incarnation, going to a Joann Fabrics or something for material.
I'm looking for something in velvet.
An hour later, or maybe 55 minutes, why split hairs? Well, you're the one who brought it up, Stan. He spends a few days sewing non-stop and decides to head to the wrestling promotion.
I hope nobody else thought of the same gimmick before me. I shall be the Ultimate Warrior.
And thus he walks into the gym where they're practicing in full Batman regalia. Batman Schmatman, it takes more than a costume, mister. I don't know, from what little I do know about professional wrestling, that's apparently all that's required for some wrestlers. They put him in the ring with Steamroller to give him a test drive, but thanks to Batman's speed and strength, he's able to knock out Steamroller in less than 10 seconds. As such, he's immediately signed on and they start him wrestling.
I'm stronger and faster than most of them, and there's something else going for me. Everyone's scared of bats, so my costume throws them off. Ooh, Batman! Bone Button isn't scared of you! I'm gonna put you in the safety pin, Batman! You think I'm scared of you? I know what you're scared of, Batman! Which is why I'm gonna rock and roll all night! Ooh!
Aang's foray into professional wrestling was not the Avatar's best career move. In a short amount of time, Batman becomes the hottest wrestler around, even appearing in talk shows in full costume. Why do you refuse to let the public know what you really look like?
How do you know this isn't my real face?
Wait, so Weekly World News was right about the Batboy story? He apparently becomes such a celebrity that he gets cereal and other food endorsements and amasses a lot of wealth. So all Superman had to do last time was become a professional wrestler? Actually, that would be cooler. Professional wrestler fights for world peace, develops the space program.
Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel. Load it with the worst.
And thus, after acquiring his own mansion, he decides it's time to finally go after Hands. However, before he does so, he also realizes that he's not sure what he'll do after he gets his revenge. So he seeks out Fred again, and busts through his skylight.
What are you doing in a dump like this?
Ex-cons don't usually get high-paying jobs, which is why you are paying for the window you just broke. After Wayne reveals himself, he tells his life story to Fred, asking him to be his confidant and scientific advisor, to supplement with science all the abilities of a bat: night vision, enhanced hearing, flight, and some Kevlar just because, well, if nature had thought of bulletproof bats, I'm sure it would have been included in the blueprints. Back over to Hands, over the course of the story, we've seen that he's really a dick to his girlfriend, demanding that she marry him. Now, he gives her a 1-hour ultimatum to either accept his proposal or be killed. You claim to love me, yet you threaten me? Yeah, you got that right. You know, dude, she's already living with you. Is the tax benefit from marriage really all that great? Batman chooses this night to fly into Hans' tower and attacks his guards.
You guys look tired. I figure you can use some shut-eye. But first, group hug!
Hans' goons, knowing about Batman's reputation in the ring, refuse to fight him, and forgetting about their guns, so Hans decides to take him on personally. However, Batman puts up a much better fight than last time. The goons, remembering their guns finally, start shooting, but due to the Kevlar, it does nothing, despite them standing like 5 feet away. However, Hans is pissed now and tells them to stop shooting since he wants to fight Batman on his own. Their fight goes outside and Hans charges Batman, who kicks him over the edge of the building.
And of course, my own personal favorite of all time, man falling off of a cliff. No!
Hans' girlfriend, Nita, comes out and says that while she wanted to be free from the gangster, she didn't want it to be through murder. Whoever you really are, your mask doesn't give you the right to kill.
Nita, you don't understand. I'm a wrestler and my parents are dead. That makes it okay.
Batman thinks that she's got no job or a place to live, so she'll have Fred hire her as a secretary. And so our comic ends with us cutting back to Damien Dark's wacky fun time review.
Be warned, another player has unwittingly entered the game. He is known as the Batman, but his power is nothing compared to mine.
Ah, so Reverend Dark is actually a former pro wrestler.
As easily as I have created his image, with the merest shrug, I make it vanish!
You have a remote control for your TV. Whoop-de-doo. And thus he swears to destroy Batman, closing out the story. This comic is actually pretty damn good. Unlike Superman, which felt like it didn't really have a focus or moral center, this version of Batman feels like a complete origin story and is focused from beginning to end. Characterization is strong here, and Wayne Williams is likable and sympathetic, undergoing an arc and transformation from poor, weak teenager to rich, strong adult. It takes the same basic idea of a guy without powers striking fear into criminals with the appearance of a bat and rolls with it in a different way than Bruce Wayne's inherited wealth. Sure, he didn't train to be the best at everything, but he's still a competent fighter in his own right. My only complaints are pretty minor. First, that it stretches credibility a bit that he rises to so much fame and money through local wrestling gigs. The other thing is that I don't like that he killed Hans. I know he couldn't really prove wrongdoing, but it seems like it'd be good for him to be the Lex Luthor to Wayne's Superman, always managing to stay out of the law's hands, but that just might be my own desire for non-killing superheroes. But yeah, check this one out. Next time, we'll see how Stan does with the Spirit of Truth. Given our last two, I'm guessing more rich and famous stuff.
My head hurts from doing this voice. Long Box of the Damned, a Midsummer's Nightmare, is still going on. You better be watching it, or I'll put you in the button press.